Hey folks, this podcast is in continuation to my previous one, a bridal bouquet. To fill you in, I talked about an incident that happened with my friend as she was attending a Christian wedding. It was a bridal bouquet tossing ceremony, and strangely, none of the girls, the single girls, I must say, came forward to catch the bouquet as opposed to what we have witnessed in the movies. Like how all of them line up, starry eyed, to grab that airborne bouquet. Unfortunately, none of that sort of thing happened here. My friend's narrative got me thinking as to why these girls were so reluctant to bite the forbidden apple of marriage. It led me to an insightful journey of the trials, tribulations, and expectations of the girls. Interestingly, I realized that there are equal number of boys not wanting to marry. Well, that post will be for some other time though. Let's begin with one side of the story. What makes the new age girls apprehensive about marriage? Generally, I do not like to categorize people. I am making an exception here. It is not to demean anyone, but to get clarity as to how I segregate my discussion. The two big categories that I've kept are the influencers and the cribbers. To begin my banter, I have some startling revelations from the ones who tasted marriage. Unfortunately, its fruit turned out bitter. Or were about to get married, or some of them who think how marriage should be. Well, I've put these heartfelt personal experiences under various tabs. They are a loadful. So brace up, listeners. You got a whole load of things coming up your way. The first one's coming up: shattered dreams. I married the love of my life. On my first night, his fist met my face and I ended up broken. Before I could understand and maneuver myself in my wedding attire, I was pushed, gagged, jostled, abused, hit, and pinned to the wall. My fault? I was blinded by love and did not see his wild side. I married an alcoholic. Goddess of all things. Why is that we women are perceived as multitaskers and these men think of themselves as taskmasters? Marriage in itself is a huge task, and to survive, we all have to multitask. No one is a master here. The exhibitionist. I was made to exhibit myself in front of an audience that ridiculed me. My probable husband scans me from top to bottom, and when I say bottom, he is not staring at my feet. I paced with subtle racism depending upon my skin color. My probable mother in law body shamed me for their pot bellied son, who almost had a receding hairline. They sought dowry that might amount to thrice the amount of what their son could earn in a lifetime. And the list goes on. Is this gamble even worth tossing the dice for? The MIL syndrome. I used to ecstatically hop around my man. We were in love. Whatever we did it for the joy of being together. In 3 months, his mother shaved off his sanity and prodded him to be a man and take control. Before I could sense the storm, he methodically broke my spirit, tossed my self-esteem, made me redundant in front of my kids, and lived off me like a parasite. My mother-in-law is from the 19th century, literally. However, she wants me to act like a 21st century bride. The ultimate oomph, huh? The one who comes with a preset of the 19th century traditions. Now, that's ironic. I am told how to behave in the house versus the social gatherings. I was given a crash course on self-conduct, like how to sit, stand, what to wear, how to acknowledge, how not to laugh and keep my teeth concealed within the lips, activate my voice modulator, keep a tab on my facial expressions, and so on. I felt like a freaking programmable robot that missed an AI upgrade. Most mothers in law in India at least, still want a male grandson. I don't know what the fetish is with boys. Do you even understand the kind of pressure they create? Being a mother should be a pleasant experience and not riddled with a performance anxiety. Seeking equality. He works, and I work too. No rocket science here. So, how come he returns and hit the couch and I enter the kitchen? Am I missing something here? Equality was a great topic that we discussed before marriage. However, life took a U turn as soon as our honeymoon got over. We were a working couple. However, I stretched myself to do the household chores and later in life managed a kid. I feel it's a mission we women are supposed to take up by default, even when we are still rocking in the cradle. Can you believe it? The men think we have invisible powers that can sprout up tentacles and look easy with their shit. The mirror might break the damn marriage, but you must muster the courage to show it to the men. The gullible. I was fooled incessantly by this so called marriage material man who kept lying to me from the beginning. I met him twice as an arrangement, and during our third meeting, he fell flat on his face as my dad got to know the bitter truth. Seriously, imagine being married to a repeat offender. The unfaithful. It was the strangest life I have ever lived. I was sleepless at home, and guess what? My husband was sleepless in Bangkok. I hope you get the big picture. The business trips came with pleasure trips, and I need not say more. The creator. I feel the only thing a woman want is to be loved and be given space to breathe on her own. It's strange when men refer to us as the weaker sex. Just because of their physicality, they claimed the world, created religion, solemnized marriage, fashioned rituals and norms that satisfy the male ego. Where is the damn equality of life? The 7 vows can't even wow me, even if I reach heaven. No chemistry leads to no biology. Emotional and sexual compatibility are the two sides of the same coin. What you flip is what you get. I had none. I just could not be flipped. We were like two opposites that did not attract. I guess we defied magnetism and put its theory to shame. The ultimate sham. I was married to a gay guy. I have nothing against them, but dude, you got to have the courage to be who you are. The so called societal pressure squeezed his balls back into his groin. Our first night was a mess. My man did not man up. Yup, for obvious reasons. He couldn't screw me, but yeah, he screwed my life. Despite being married for 7 years, we were like perfect strangers. The reason? The man that I got married to had a girlfriend. How convenient. He couldn't open his gob while getting married to me. Later, he declared to the family. So here I was, together for 7 years in the same house, untouched. But he gallivanted with ease from the day of our first night. Seeing things the way they were helped set us free. No patriarchs. I don't want anyone to dictate terms. I don't need a man to surely do that. If seeking pleasure is on my agenda, I can date forever. Trust me. I can adopt a kid. I don't have to be his sidekick for a lifetime to experience motherhood. I'm happy with my financial status. No one calls the shot. But yeah, I'm open to discussion. Don't you butt in with your overgrown male ego. I just want a companion, dude, not a control freak patriarch. Love lost. Love doesn't last, and it comes with an expiry date. When it is over, you are just a piece of furniture. I happened to marry a rich Jack. Now, I am a super luxurious piece. I still couldn't buy love for all the luxury that I soak in, believe me. Spoiled sport. When two different worlds collide, the Big Bang happens. You might not see the fireworks in the sky, but it just burns you down. I thought my man was so much into me emotionally. I used to count every blessing, but that was before marriage. Imagine our first night of honeymoon, he was rooting for Barcelona, and I was left alone scrolling my phone. It was then I discovered he was a stupid sports channel and I was a bloody Netflix. Our worlds did not meet, and the moon just bobbed away into the break of dawn. The ugly reality. They rejected me. And you know why? Because I had my old mom and no father as a backup. I was seen as a liability because of my mother's single status. My would be husband will be obligated to safeguard my mother's health. I was considered a financial loss and I was written off. Seeking self worth. I'm more than a title, quote unquote, wife. And what's with this changing of my last name? I leave everything behind to be with that one person who is a total gamble. This whole thing looks so prehistoric. Get a life and breathe, please. I know myself decently well. And if you try to change me for your trigger happy testosterone, go take a hike or hide where the sun doesn't shine. I hope you know what I mean. The disillusioned. Expectations. I want to change the name of marriage to expectations. Do you get that? Love does not exist. The moment you talk about mutual respect and space, from a homemaker, you are instantly labeled as a home breaker. I believe in true love. I absolutely do. I like the concept of doing things together. But you got to treat me right. I am a human, not your property that was handed over to you by your great grandfather. Finding true love. I am in and out of love. And it's like the number game. The more I meet new men, it's more likely I will have my chance of meeting my true love. But I realized, with passing time, my definition of true love kept changing. And I'm yet to find my man. A triumphant trophy. I ended up being a trophy wife. I am pretty, and I know that, and so do my husband. I am an arm candy for my husband. When I am required to socialize, I am in my glam doll avatar. I am expected to hold a glass of wine while I dine. In the public view, he helps me to be seated. But at home, he doesn't even hold the damn door for me. We just don't connect. On my terms. I will only marry if my husband is willing to leave his parental house, period. I don't want to live with my in laws. It's a chaos and not a choice. If I can leave my house, so can he. What's the big deal? Live in realism. I became pregnant so that I could convince him about my love for him. I was such a fool. But I was made to abort as he couldn't grow a spine. He just did not have the balls to own me. What a wasted life and a sin to end someone's life that was about to kick inside of me. Version upgrade. We all are evolving all the time. And most of the times, our pace might not match with each other. Mental distances are bound to happen and are real. Let's admit, we grow out of things or people. I don't think humans are designed to stay together for longer periods of time. Now look here, my husband wants to explore sexual realms and get into threesome and other experimental experiences. Whereas I have moved towards centering within. I have moved away from the physical aspect. Why should we stop each other's growth? Let go of each other and seek again. What's the harm? The skeptic. I'm stuck between to be or not to be. What if? Will it work? Is it worth it? Where will it lead me? I'm afraid. A bit shy to confess that all this marriage thing makes me look at myself in disbelief. I am in forever self doubt. And it just stresses me out. It's a pandemonium unleashed in my head, and I can't get a grip. No diktat. Marriage should not dictate terms and conditions. No wonder the prenuptials came into being. But I guess that came up as rich men were left almost bankrupt after providing alimony. And yeah, even women got it easy though. We always try and find people who we gel with and connect emotionally. We don't go looking for a person who's not in sync with us. If marriage makes you meet a person that you think is not a great match, society should make it easy for the two to move on with no regrets, especially for women. Think about it. The legacy. Being a mother, I keep telling my kids of what marriage is in real versus how it is made to look like. I tell them not to get swayed by the grand celebrations and the hype that surrounds it. They need not get married as a social norm till the time they feel good about this institution. It's not worth living and wasting one's life by being dictated by the terms of someone else. The ABC of OCD. I am perfect when it comes to management. My trouble starts when my man wakes up and doesn't straighten the bedsheet. He doesn't keep the things back to where they were, leaves his towel on the bed, walks barefoot in the house, doesn't even wrap up the mobile charger. I hate to see wires dangling around. My man is neither meticulous nor compassionate. The spaced out. My space is super sacrosanct to me. You live with each other, share the same space, smell the fart, the burp, put up with the same face every day, tolerate each other, and yeah, that toilet seat lid. Ugh. And people call it love? Like, seriously? The survivor. If you have learned the art of putting up with the male ego, your marriage can survive. Trust me, it's not too difficult. All you have to do is to just let go of your existence. It's that simple. Wow. I was literally blown away by these views. Honestly, I was a bit numb after listening to all that goes behind the scenes. It is not an exhaustive list of views, and I am sure there will be more depending upon the varied experiences. I'm not surprised as to why the girls think the way they do, and most of them are not to be blamed. Unfortunately, the girls are surrounded by more challenging experiences than the inspiring ones. The views that you just read about, I categorize these girls as the influencers. These girls have gone through a rough patch in their marriage or had an unnerving experience. Their tales of misery infect the mindset of the brides to be. And misery is like a wildfire. It is crisp, it is sharp, and it is raging. It burns down every possible straw of hope. These brides to be are the most fertile to sprout the seed of doubt, angst, or good riddance. The influencer is just sharing her ordeal or an opinion, but unknowingly it infects the dreamy, starry eyed brides to be. And soon they become a contagion. More likely, now I understand what must have been going through the minds of those girls who didn't jump to catch the bridal bouquet. But it's more than meets the eye. I'm not a blind feminist, and not everything comes from the influencer. A lot is left to the girl's imagination too. Or you can say the concept of marriage is a figment of their imagination or self hallucination. blame it on the way the whole package is sold to them. It is evident that today's women is seeking autonomy, mutual respect, compassion, acceptance, love, and equality. The advent of the Me Too movement made it absolutely clear that the women of today is more vocal than ever before to seek a place of their own under the sun. I wholeheartedly support them. But I did see a disturbing trend. My next category of girls is the cribbers, displaying extreme individualistic behavior that makes them rant about almost everything will be detrimental to their long term relationships. One needs to strike a balance as absolute power corrupts and it influences an inexperienced mind. A change is definitely needed to surface in the society that makes men competent enough to evolve with the new age women. Most men are still basking in the way their mothers have made them grow, or how society infuses chauvinism into them. It is time to outgrow their conditioning and become partners rather than taskmasters. Personally speaking, though I am still single and believe in happy ever afters, marriage to me is not all that bad. The way you perceive it depends upon what influence you carry forward. Arguably, marriage has its predictable protocols, which are less variable. Together, if one can stand on a common ground, one can make marriage work. As two people can never be the same. So, if you want to marry your reflection, then by all means, you might want to keep a mirror handy. However, if you believe in marriage, then learn to be upfront and deal with your man or the family head on. You might intimidate them, but you will set yourself free, and freedom comes at a price, mind it, that one should be ready to pay without regret. So, before I wrap up, this was just one side of the story. The boys have a different tale to tell, which I will share some other time. Whether you are a woman or a man, the gravity of marriage can ground you or hound you. It can elevate you or make you bite the dust. So, girls, good luck with the bridal bouquet, and I am hoping to let it toss you into a blissful union. Have a wonderful life.